Introduction to Semantic HTML. When building a website, we use a combination of non-semantic HTML and semantic HTML. The word semantic means relating to meaning, so semantic elements provide information about the content between the opening and closing tags. By using semantic HTML, we select HTML elements based on their meaning, not on how they're presented. Elements such as div and span are not semantic elements since they provide no context as to what is inside of those tags. For example, instead of using a div element to contain our header information, we could use a header element which is used as a heading section. By using a header tag instead of div, we provide context as to what information is inside of the opening and closing tag. Why semantic HTML? For accessibility, semantic HTML makes web pages accessible for mobile devices and for people with disabilities as well. SEO, it improves the website SEO or search engine optimization, which is the process of increasing the number of people that visit your web page. Easy to understand. Semantic HTML also makes the website source code easier to read for other web developers. Non-semantic, just a div, and semantic would be header, nav, article, footer. So you really, just with the semantic HTML, you know what's going to be inside that part of that section of code. Header and nav. Let's take a look at the semantic elements that assist the structure of a web page. A header is a container usually for either navigation links, introductory content containing H1 to H6 headings. So here you have header, H1, everything you need to know about pizza. This can be compared to the code below, which uses a div tag instead of a header. Div ID header, H1, and closing div tag. By using a header tag, our code becomes easier to read. It is much easier to identify what's inside of the H1's parent tag, which provide no detail as to what was inside of the tag. A nav is used to define a block of navigation links such as menus and tables of content. It is important to note that nav can be used inside of the header element but can also be used on its own. Let's take a look at the example below. Header, nav, another list elements, nav header. By using nav as a way to label our navigation links, it will be easier for not only us, but also for web browsers and screen readers to read the code. The exercise here is asking to find div ID header tag and change it to header. So I already did that. Main and footer. Two more structural elements are main and footer. These elements, along with nav and header, help describe where an element is located based on conventional web development standards. The element main is used to encapsulate the dominant content within a web page. This tag is separate from the footer and the nav of a web page since these elements don't contain the principal content. By using main as opposed to a div element, screen readers and web browsers are better able to identify whatever is inside of the tag is the bulk of the content. So how does main look when incorporated into our code? That's a great question. As we see above, main contains an article and header tag with child elements that hold the most important information related to the page. So here is main, header, article. The content at the bottom of the subject information is known as the footer, indicated by the footer element. The footer contains information such as contact information, copyright, terms of use, site website, reference to the top of a page link, article, and selection. Now that we've covered the body of semantic HTML, let's focus on what can go in the body. To focus on now are section and article. Section defines elements in a document, such as chapters, heading, or any other area of the document with the same theme. For example, content with the same theme, such as articles about cricket, can go under a single section. A website's homepage could be split into sections for the introductions, new items, and contact information. Here's an example of how to use section. Fun facts about cricket. In the above code, we created a section element to encapsulate the code. In section, we added a H2 element as heading. The article element holds content that makes sense on its own. Article can hold content such as article, blogs, comments, magazines, and etc. An article tag helps someone using a screen reader understand where the article content that might contain a combination of text, image, audio, and etc. begins and ends. Here's an example on how to use article. So you have section, H2, article, and a paragraph inside. In the code above, the article element contains a fact about cricket was placed inside of the section element. It is important to note that a section element could also be placed in an article element depending on the context. The aside element. The aside element is used to mark additional information that can enhance another element but isn't required in order to understand the main content. This element can be used along other elements such as article or section. Some common use of the aside elements are for bibliographies, endnotes, comments, pull quotes, editorials, sidebars, and additional information. Here's an example. As shown above, the information within the article is the important content. So here it is. We have article and the information talking about the first World Series. Meanwhile, the information within the aside enhances the information in the article, but it's not required in order to understand. So here's just an additional information related to the main topic. Figure and fig caption. With aside, we learned that we can put additional information next to a main piece of content. But what if we wanted to add an image or illustration? That is where figure and fig caption come in. Figure is an element used to encapsulate media such as image, illustration, diagram, code snippet, etc., which is referenced in the main flow of the document. So you have here figure and the image tag inside. In this code, we create a figure element so that we can encapsulate our image tag. In figure, we use the image tag to insert an image onto the web page. We use the source attribute within the image tag so that we can link the source of the image. It's possible to add a caption to the image by using fig caption. Fig caption is an element used to describe the media in the figure tag. Usually, fig caption will go inside figure. This is different than using a p element to describe the content. If we decide to change the location of figure, the paragraph tag may get displaced from the figure while fig caption will move with the figure. This is useful for grouping an image with a caption. Here's figure. So same thing as the code above, but they added fig caption. This picture shows characters from Overwatch. Audios and attributes. Now that we learned about text-based content, let us dig into audio. Surely everyone needs audio. How else would you listen to Korean hip hop? The audio element is used to embed audio content to a document. Like video, audio, use a source to link the audio source. In this example, we create an audio element, then we created source element to encapsulate our audio link. In this case, I'm an audio file MP3 is our audio file. Then we specify the type by using type and named what kind of audio it is. Although not necessarily, it's recommended that we state the type of audio as it helps the browser identify it more easily and determine if that type of audio file is supported by the browser. We linked our audio file into the browser, but now we need to give it controls. This is where attributes come in. Attributes provide additional information about an element. Attribute allows us to do many different things to our audio file. There are many attributes for audio, but today we're going to be focusing on controls and source. Controls automatically displays the audio controls into the browser such as play and mute. Source specifies the URL of the audio file. As you might have noticed, we already use the source attribute. Most attributes go in the opening tag of audio. For example, here's how we could add both autoplay functionality and audio controls. Audio, autoplay controls. So you have a self-closing audio tag with autoplay controls inside. So here in the example, we have auto controls right underneath cute dog. And here's the source, type of audio, MP3, closing audio tag, video and embed. As demonstrated in the previous exercise, media content can be a useful addition to a website. By using a video element, we can add videos to our website. The video element makes it clear that a developer is attempting to display a video to the user. Some attributes that can alter a video playback include controls. Then edit in a play pause button will be added onto the video along with volume control and a full screen option. Autoplay, the attribute which results in a video automatically playing as soon as the page is loaded. Loop. This attribute results in the video continuously playing on repeat. Below is an example of video being used with the controls attribute. So we have video source coding MP4, controls, video now supported text, and closing video tag. In the code above, a video file named coding.mp4 is being played. The video now supported will only show up if the browser is unable to display the video. Another tag that can be used to incorporate media content into a page is the embed tag, which can embed any media content, including videos, audio files, and GIFs from external source. This means that the website that have an embed button have some form of media content that can be added to other websites. The embed tag is a self-closing tag, unlike the video element. Note that embed is a deprecated tag and other alternatives such as video, audio, and image should be used in its place, but it's being taught for legacy purposes. Below, we'll take a look at embed being used in action. In the example above, embed is being used to add in a GIF from a local file known as download GIF. Embed can be used to add local files as well as media content straight from some other websites. So here in the example, after the audio, we have first this video, and the second option is an embed tag review. Let's review some of the most important topics. Semantic HTML introduces meaning to a page through specific elements that provide context to what is in between the tags. Semantic HTML is a modern standard that makes a website accessible for people who use screen readers to translate the web page and improves your website's SEO. Header, nav, main, and footer create the basic structure of the web page. Section defines elements in a document such as chapter, heading, or any other area of the document with the same theme. Article holds content that makes sense on its own, such as article, blogs, comments, etc. A side contains information that is related to the main content but not required in order to understand the dominant information. Figure encapsulates all types of media. Fig captions uses to distribute the media in figure. Video, embed, and audio elements are used for media files.